5 years. 5 years I struggled in network marketing. 5 years I was broke as a joke, ready to choke, looking for a smoke. 5 years going to meetings, buying tools, buying products, hiding my beat up broke mobile a few blocks away from the venue. For 5 years, and then went on to become one of the top income earners in the world and produced more than $22 billion worth of sales for myself, my team, my clients, and proteges. How did that happen? How did I go on to build a team of more than 200,000 active distributors over 50 countries? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to share with you the lesson I learned from the guy I will call the Pablo Escobar of MLM. The lesson, I mean, somebody who counted their money with a scale, like Pablo did. I want to share with you the lesson I learned that I believe could be the lesson you learn and can help you transform your business and your life. Hey, what's up, my fellow citizens of Duplication Nation? I'm Randy Gage, back with another episode, and I have to tell you, this will be like a podcast like no other podcast you have ever listened to or seen in your life. I've got the camera on. I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel, the podcast YouTube channel for you guys who want to do that. But I'm going to tell you, it's a little different than your typical podcast. I know a lot of you, you're walking the dog, you're on the treadmill when you're listening. You want to do that, still great. But if you listen or watch that way, I would suggest you go and rewatch it on the YouTube channel with your tablet or your notebook out and take notes, because I am going to reveal to you some literally, and I mean this is not hype or rah-rah. I'm going to reveal to you multi-million-dollar secrets, how you build duplication that works without you. I have an ulterior motive for this. I'm looking for 35 Jedi Padawan. 35 people to go into a special test program that I'm conducting with my co-founder at Duplication Nation, Jaime Lokier. We created something extraordinary, something that has never been done in our profession. Nobody's even thought of anything this bold, daring, or imaginative. And it's the kind of program that can transform your life. So we're looking for two categories of people. Category number one is you believe in the business, you believe in your company, you believe in your product line, you believe you're meant to be a multi-million-dollar producer, and you haven't been able to manifest it yet for whatever reason. But you know you're supposed to be at the top. You're supposed to be. You can see yourself on stage in front of 10 or 20,000 people getting your pins. You can see yourself leading that team that takes your organization around the world. You can see yourself empowering people, transforming lives for the better. You can see yourself living your dream lifestyle, not just the, the rah-rah and the hype, but I mean the real dream lifestyle with the people you love, living the kind of life you want to live. So that's the first category. If you're in that category, this podcast applies for you. The second category is maybe you're already a multi-million-dollar producer, or you're a co-founder or a CEO of a company, and you just haven't been able to get your team to replicate your results. You might be one of those freak of nature people who has been able to build a big income for yourself. But if nobody else was here, it was just you and me, and you might have had a couple of cocktails, you might tell me, I don't want anyone to know this, Randy, but I'm a grinder. And if I'm not grinding out there 14 hours a day, my check would never stay the same. If I took 3 months off, I'd lose half my team. Or you're just say, I'm a founder. I've got an incredible company, incredible products. I've invested millions of dollars into this, and I haven't been able to develop the field leaders who know how to go out and bring the rain. And I need to build this framework that we're going to explore today. You need to build that framework in your company. So if you're in one of those two groups, great. If you're not in one of those two groups, you're not interested in joining one of those two groups, then bail out now. Because I don't know, I haven't even timed this out. This could go 45 minutes. This could go 4 hours. I don't even know where this is going to end up. I'm just going to share my truth about this very, very, very special program, my excitement for finding these 35 people. And so I don't know how long it'll take. So if you're not interested, just bail out now. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Now, also, if you cannot clear your schedule for a 4-day special laboratory from June 5th to June 8th, 2025, and really what that means is in Las Vegas at a secret location. And what that really means is you'd have to arrive June 4th and you'd have to depart June 9th, because this isn't the kind of thing you could pick up halfway through. It's not the kind of thing you can watch on a Zoom meeting. If you tell me I could never get a visa to the United States, or hey, that's the weekend I'm getting married and I'm winning the Nobel Peace Prize Award and whatever, okay, just bail out now. And finally, if you cannot comfortably invest thousands of dollars in your business, then bail out now. Unless you believe you have somebody in your sponsorship line or somebody in the upline that you could sell on this vision and they could bring you along. But if you need to take your kids' college fund to work with this, don't even think about it. If you have to take your retirement saving, if you have to put it all on a credit card, don't even think about it. You have to comfortably be able to invest in your business. Otherwise, save your time. There's a lot of other ways you could spend this time. So those are the parameters that we're going to get into. So let's talk about this journey. What changed? How did I go broke as a joke, ready to choke, to becoming one of the highest income earners in the world? And not just one of the highest income earners in the world, one of the happiest people in the world, one of the healthiest people in the world, one of the people who really has a dream lifestyle, the lifestyle I envision, where I foresaw, I want to be a citizen of the world, have places around the world. I want to travel and be able to run my business with my laptop under a palm tree in Fiji, sipping on the bottled water on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, hanging out, zip lining down in Costa Rica, that kind of lifestyle. So how did I do that? And more importantly, what are the lessons for you? What can I share with you that will allow you to get closer to your dream lifestyle, whatever that is? So let me share my journey. You heard already, 5 years losing money, going to all those meetings, buying all those tools. Man, I had the dream. I desperately wanted to do it. I gave up every weeknight possible to show the plan, show the plan, show the plan. I drove, bare knuckled back at 1 a.m., window down out in the wintertime in Wisconsin, in cold places, with the window down, hoping that the freezing air would keep me awake until I could go home and crash. And then alarm clock goes off the next morning and I'd go to my day job. And then I'd do the same thing the next night. So this was, after 5 years of that, I had a come to Jesus meeting with myself. And that led to my first breakthrough. Because I looked and I said, well, come on. And you guys know my story. I had originally started with the Amway Corporation. Great company. They're doing amazing. They made it pretty big without me. I think they can get by, right? But so I never made it with them. And then I tried another one and another one. And so 5 years I've been in and out of all these different deals and companies, some legitimate companies, some just crazy cockamamie things that if I looked at today, I would know better. And I realized, wow, there's a lot of companies there that are doing well. And there's a lot of people in those companies. So I have to come to a decision here. Is this network marketing thing all just bullshit? It's just rah-rah hype. It's just smoke and mirrors. And it's like a secret conspiracy of the inside people who know how to do it. And I never have a chance in this. And it's all just for show. It's all just show business, make believe. People really aren't making those kind of checks. People really aren't living those kind of lifestyles. And I had to be honest with myself and say, there are people cashing those 5-figure, 6-figure bonus checks. There are people winning those bonus cars. There are people going on those trips, living those lifestyle. And they had the same product line I did, the same compensation plan I did, the same marketing materials I did. So that was breakthrough number one, was I realized, okay, I need to look inside, not outside. I had not learned the skills to be successful. I was pathologically shy. Those who don't know, I'm on the spectrum, suffered from a lot of social anxiety. I would never cold call a person. I would never, even to this day, I would never make a cold call, ever. I don't ever ask for referrals. I don't, I believe in not trying to sell people things. I believe in finding the people who want to buy what I have. And that's what I've built my whole career on. And we'll go into that a little more in depth as we get further along, because I think there's a really important lesson for you in that. But that was my, first real breakthrough. And so I learned how to present and I learned how to enroll. So I had a friend with a restaurant and they had a back room, like a banquet room. And he told me I could use it any night it wasn't booked, as long as, people I invited, they order a coffee or tea, piece of cake or pie or snack, a muffin, I could have the room for free. So I got my Miami Vice suit on and I started drawing circles 5 nights a week. All right. And I learned how to sponsor, how to enroll. That was breakthrough number one. It didn't take me to where I wanted to go. Where that took me is that I was bringing in a lot of personal enrollees. Some of you are going to really relate to this. I was bringing in a lot of personal enrollees, but I wasn't getting any duplication. So what did I do? I did what we all do in that situation. I called up my sponsor and I started whining and bitching and moaning. Oh my God, I just, why everybody sponsor people and then they just sit around waiting for someone to make them rich. I just want to find more people like me. And my sponsor, bless his soul, he cared about me enough to tell me the truth. He said, Randy, that's your problem. You found people exactly like you. I found people who figured, let me go get 5 people, and then they're going to get 5 is 25, and they'll get 125 and 625. I might as well order my Lambo right now. I'm going to just call them up and hound them every day until they make me rich. So this was another seminal moment along the way where I realized, okay, this is not about me. This is about my team. I need to do the business, my business. I need to take daily actions in my business that help empower my team to become successful. And if I can help them become successful, my own success will be assured. All right, good progression. What happened next? I started earning more money. I started developing, what for me at that time was, I felt a lot of money. But again, where the breakdown was duplication. I learned how to be an incredible presenter. I learned how to get people across the line into the business, but my people couldn't replicate those results. So I was one of those guys. Hey, just bring your people to me and I'll close them for you. So I was the only guy in the team who could do all the presentations. So I had become this rock star presenter. But what happens is when you become that rock star presenter and your people can't replicate you, it's a cult of personality business. You get down 5 levels, 6 levels, maybe 7 levels deep. After that, you can't personally touch those people. They're too far away. They're too spread out geographically. So you know how it is, 525, 625, it's supposed to go out like a pyramid, right? Like a mountain, peak at the top, get wider. But of course, it turns into a diamond, gets wider, wider, wider. And then it gets down to the 7th level, gets less, 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 less. And then, so it goes, there's 412 people on the 7th level. It's only 212 on the 8th level, and 81 on the 9th level, and 23 on the next level, and some lonely housewife in Iowa on the last level. That is no duplication. So what I learned there, here was my next breakthrough was, hey, I've got to create a standardized presentation with a framework that anybody on any level of my organization can create the same results as me. They don't have to be a rock star presenter. They don't have to be dynamic and charismatic, and they don't have to look like an Instagram model. They have to make sure to hit these 7 segments in the framework. You might have seen, I have a special report I did with Jaime about this, how to be a rock star presenter. And we break down those 7 segments that have to be in every presentation in order to get the optimal results. Now here, let me give you another $1 million tip, and you're going to get scads of them in this podcast. Here's a $1 million tip. Your presentation is not supposed to be designed to sponsor everybody. It's not. Your presentation is supposed to be designed to sponsor the right people. The people who truly are qualified candidates, people who truly would be great distributors and be able to replicate the process. So your presentation needs these 7 specific elements so that it screens out the people who are not good candidates, but it brings in the people who are great candidates. Your presentation should never have to sell anybody. Why have I become so wealthy? I'm a terrible salesperson. I don't know how to sell. I don't want to know how to sell. I'm deathly afraid of rejection. Do you know what I am? I'm a great storyteller and I'm a great marketer. meaning I know how to create a steady stream of candidates and put them in front of a presentation that if they are the right candidates, they will have an epiphany that says, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And they're going to enroll in the business, and you wouldn't be able to talk them out of it if you tried to. If you did, you get them in front of the right presentation, because understand something, another $1 million tip. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If they're the right candidate, you say, listen, I just joined this thing. I don't know if it's a pyramid or what, but my friend Susie told me about it. I got in and the product does this. And, I really want to be rich. And would you do me a favor and sponsor in because I want to make money off of you? If they're the right candidate, they don't care about any of that. They're going to join anyway. And say, well, he's pretty clueless, but I see what this really is, and I know what I could do with this, and I know who I could help with this, and I know what an incredible social entrepreneur I could be and impact lives in a positive way. But you got to have those 7 segments in a standardized presentation. Home meeting, hotel meeting, online meeting, PowerPoint deck, flip chart, it doesn't matter. A standardized outline. That was a huge breakthrough for me. Now I had people who were able to recruit, not just me. I wasn't the Lone Ranger doing all the recruiting for my team. I had an army of people recruiting. So that was a huge breakthrough. And then I became a 6-figure earner, right? Making money, but still a grinder. Right? I was making, for me, a lot of money, making 6 figures. If you don't know my story, I had a single mom who raised 3 of us knocking on doors selling Avon. I was broke. I wasn't broke. I would have needed to get out of debt to qualify to be broke, right? So for me to make a 6-figure income, this was, and really multiple 6 figures. It wasn't just, I was making 100K. I was making a couple $100,000 a year. So that's huge money for somebody coming from my background, right? But it still was kind of a grinder until I met the man I call the Pablo Escobar of MLM. Now, I'm not going to say his name. He is no longer with us. He has children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and I have no desire to speak ill of the dead. People who know the business, people who've been around decades like me, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about, all right? But so this person was a big leader in that company we discussed earlier, the household name brand company that everybody's heard of. And he had this system and these rallies, and he was holding events in stadiums. This is back in the day. And so to go to the event cost $5 only. So I get in the business again in this company later on in my career, and I start working my way up the ranks. They recognize, hey, this guy looks like an up-and-comer. Let's bring him in not in the inner circle, but the outer inner circle. Let him see a little what the team leadership looks like and what his potential might be. Because, of course, they had a tape, and it was tape at that time, a tape of the week, a book of the month. They had these self-development programs, which were cash cows for these leaders. And these events were cash cows for these leaders. So I'm at Pablo's house one day, and some workmen come. And the house, I mean, you can only imagine the the lifestyles of the rich and famous of this house. And so he's got some workers there. They do something, and then they want to get paid. It's, I don't know, $800 or whatever. So he goes to this bank of file cabinets in his office, huge, wide, 4 foot wide file cabinets stacked up. And he opens one and it's filled with $5 bills, wrapped and shrink wrapped, just like Pablo Escobar. This guy had so much cash that maybe didn't get reported to the tax authorities. I don't know. But you had to weigh the money to know how much you had. So he went to here and he got these stacks of wads of $5 bills and, loaded up a shopping bag to pay the 700-800 bucks, whatever it was for that. And that was my biggest epiphany. And I think has the most important lesson for you in building your success. Because I looked at that system and I said, this is an amazing system. It's very elegant, pulls people exactly through a process, shows them what to do. And it's designed to enrich those leaders. What if I built a system like that I didn't make money off the field? I didn't make money selling, tools to the miners, mining the miners, but I built the system that the people could go out and build and have success, and I would make my money off of my bonus check. And that's what turned me into the $22 billion man. This is how I was able to hit and sustain exponential growth. That thing everybody talks about, everybody has a PowerPoint slide with the hockey stick graph and the growth goes almost vertical. Yeah, everybody talks about that. How many people actually did that? I'm fortunate enough, been blessed enough to be part of the teams that did that, not once, but twice in my team. And if you know anything about the business, you know that some of the most successful hits in our profession, companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies, if you talk to the people on the inside, they would tell you, yes, Gage was my mentor. You'll go in to be 20 top income earners, and I trained 17 out of the 20 or 20 out of the 20. And people in the know that I contributed to creating that exponential growth by training my system, this framework. This is because what happened, why I say this was the big breakthrough for me is because I had this framework of, hey, here's what a standardized presentation needs to include. But after meeting Pablo and seeing that whole system with the distributor orientation, the candidate pathway, what I later would call the term the ladder of escalation, that you bring a candidate through in that candidate pathway, the kind of tools, I realized there's a master framework, 9 components, of which this standardized presentation is just one of that presentation framework, is part of the master framework, from beginning to end, the step by step duplicable system. And that's when everything changed. And I've had the money and the cars and the bling bling, and I'm happy with all of that. I've celebrated all the exotic cars I had. I'm proud of the income that I earned. A guy from simple background like me who's been able to become so wealthy. But I'm telling you, that's not the best part. The best part is who you become. The best part is the lifestyle you get to lead. And then the lifestyle that you are able to empower others with. So it's been my mission ever since then, right? Why do I do what I do? Why did Jaime and I start duplicationnation.com? to take the business back from the con artist and the crypto scams and the posers and the parasites, the people who latched on to our profession and they're just desperate to get to you and your team and sell them ebooks and coaching programs on shit that doesn't work because they knew how the business worked back in the days of, dead doctors don't lie cassette tapes, but they don't know how it works in 2025, or they never knew how it worked and they just washed out of the business, but they declared themselves a guru and now they're consultants and they do big events and people think they are successful, but they've never actually built a team unless they got some special crazy insider deal. So we're taking the profession back and we're empowering the people who want to do it legit, the right way. And that's what this lab is about. This lab, you'll see when we talk about it, this is not the posers and the tire kickers and the scammers. They're not going to be there because we won't accept them. So here's the $1 million thing I want you to get in this instant of the space-time continuum. This master framework is why you haven't reached the level of success you desire, because you didn't have it. If you're a founder, CEO, and your company never broke through, you're a flatliner, this master framework is the reason why. Understand the fact that you've not been successful, it's probably not your fault. Really, because you had no way of knowing this before now. With this framework, when you put this master framework into effect, you have a machine that will allow you to add somewhere between 500 to 5,000 new distributors on a monthly basis. It's a machine because you can't scale. I can't scale. Nobody can scale. Yeah, you can be influential. You could be an influencer on Instagram. You could do kick-ass presentations and sign up everybody in the room or the Zoom room, but you're still not going to scale. You need a machine to scale. And when you build out the master framework is the machine. That's what puts in 500 to 5,000 people a month and does it consistently. So yes, you'll still have dropouts and churn, and not everybody's going to sign up. Like I say, the whole point of the system is to bring in the right people and sort out the people who aren't right. So what we're going to do at this lab is going to show you're going to build out your master framework. So let's clear up some questions you may need to understand, clear out first. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, what is the most harmful or limiting internal belief that holds people back from success in our business? Why don't more people make it? Why do so many people give up? Why do so many people struggle and be grinders their whole career? They self-sabotage themselves. And the answer is they don't believe they're worthy. They don't believe it can happen for them. They think, okay, there's some secret cabal people and they all know the passwords and the insider codes and they've got the secret decoder rings and you know what? That's true in some companies. It is true in particularly the crypto scams and stuff. it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all rah-rah and hype, and people are stacking people under other people and stacking them up and buying positions and putting volume in to qualify one time, and then they don't hit that rank again forever, right? There's all kind of bullshit like that that goes on in some of these sketchy deals, some of these binary programs where, you talk to someone, they say, yeah, 40,000 a month. But what they don't tell you is they spend $22,000 a month re-enrolling, buying new positions under their positions. So they don't make 40,000 a month, they make 18,000 a month. All right. So, and listen, 18,000 a month, that's great. If you could do that and you're happy with that, wonderful. But let's cut the bullshit and don't say you're making 40,000 a month. I know so many people that I'm just shocked. They come to me, they want consulting. Yes, I'm gonna make 6 figures a month. And I'm like, okay, why are you coming to me? All right, if everything you say, you're crushing it and you're duplicating, and why do you need help? Well, I did reach this rank of, Starfleet commander last year, but it was only one time, and I haven't qualified since. And, I need 8 lines qualifying, but I only have 3 qualifying. And so I have to buy orders underneath the other ones. And, then the truth comes out. Or, they come to a seminar, they're talking all this good game and everybody in the room and telling them what a superstar they are. And then I'll have some $5,000 product service coaching thing and their credit card is declined. Hello, what is wrong with this picture? Okay, if you got to go do an Easter egg hunt for $5,000, I don't think you're really making $180,000 a month like you've been telling everybody during the break, right? So there is some of that insider stuff, but we don't want to deal with those people. But what's holding the good people back, the real people that want to do it, is they don't think it can work for them. And if that was your belief, the epiphany you got to get is understanding, wow, if I have this master framework and I'm willing to work and implement it, put it into place, it really can happen for me. The other question you might need to handle in your own psyche is an external belief, not about you, about network marketing as a profession. I meet people all the time, and I'm like, well, no wonder they're not successful. They have a really limiting belief. They think it's hard to bring people into network marketing. They think they have to close them, and it's harder than ever to close them, and it's harder than ever to find candidates. What's the reality? Sorry, let me get some water here. I've been talking a long time. You still with me on this? You still in? Still grooving with this? What they don't understand is side gig businesses are the hottest thing on the planet right now. And we have the best side gig of all. All right, if they're doing ride share, if they're not picking up someone at the airport and taking them to the Marriott, they're not getting paid. They're doing delivery. If they're not picking up the Kung Pao chicken and delivering it to apartment 6B, they ain't getting paid. If they're doing a ride share, they're literally training the computer algorithms that are going to replace them. And those work from home thing, try to be an influencer. You know how many, it's 1 in 20 million people who can survive as a social media influencer. And overnight, they can change the algorithms and you're out of business, right? There's so many social media so many side gigs that have no security, have no leverage, no duplication, no support. You're working all alone by yourself. We have the best side gig out there. And right now, here's my personal thing. We're in the advent of AI. AI is restructuring everything. It's going to be very good for the planet, right? It's going to help the whole world be more prosperous. But first, There's going to be 1 to 3 years of disruption. It's going to be 1 to 3 years when millions of people are going to have their economic security disrupted. And I'm not just talking about warehouse workers who get replaced by robots. I'm talking about people with 6-figure, even 7-figure incomes who are going to be displaced short term because of artificial intelligence. So I believe we have a window of opportunity. And right now, if you're watching this, I don't know when, I'm recording this in 2025. Okay. And I know stuff lives on the internet forever. So you may be watching this 2030. I'm saying 2025. I think we got a 1 to 3 year window of opportunity when fortunes are going to be created, where people are going to build out legacy positions with legacy incomes they can will to their children and their grandchildren. All right. Other thing maybe you need to clear in your mind is, okay, because let's be honest, if I don't want to puff up myself, but let's be real. Every successful company in our space uses my shit. They either hired me to do it for them or they stole it. But they all use it. Okay. I can't even tell you how many times I get hired, come in, hey, we want to hire you, build it. And so I go in, okay, send me, what's your new distributor orientation training? What is it? And they send me stuff that's just ripped off out of my books, literally word for word, right? So I get it, all right. And I'm honored in a perverse way that everybody's stealing my stuff and taking credit for it and all of that. But you may wonder, okay, Gage's stuff is out there. He puts it on his YouTube channel. He puts it in his book. Why haven't more people figured out this master framework? And why aren't more of them multi-million-dollar producers? And here's the thing. I've trained more millionaires in network marketing than any person on earth. And it's not even close. I mean, second place is 40 miles behind me. But there should be even more. And why isn't? Well, here's the reasons, just so you can clear this up in your own mind. So you know, so your mind is right when you go forward to do this for yourself. One, I'm always refining the framework, right? Regulatory issues change, laws change, and we have to do different approaches. Social media changed the game forever. AI is changing the game forever. Things happen in the economy. We have this whole Gen XYZ dynamic route. It's different than it was with the baby boomers. So people, they haven't kept up. I wrote a book, Multi-Level Money Machine, right? That sold like 5 million copies. I'm telling people all over the world, throw that book away, burn it. It's 20 years old. It's not relevant. That's why I wrote Direct Selling Success, to take the place of that with the new reality, what's happened now. So there's people still working on stuff from years ago. They're taking advice from the wrong sources, right? There's so many parasites in our business. Sales trainers, NLP trainers, social media influencers. Now everybody is an AI expert and they got their ebook or their e-course. Okay. They don't know our business. And if you allow your team to get exposed to them, it'll cut the legs out from under your business. Then there's the imposters. People call themselves gurus who never actually did it. The hucksters, the ones who are just giving you training, getting you to put them on their calls, and then they're recruiting your people into their Ponzi schemes and the other crypto scams. Let me tell you, here's another story for you. So I'm a young buck in the business. I'm on my second, third company. My sponsor brings in a guru to do the training. Again, I won't say any names, but you'll know who I'm talking about if you've been in the biz as long as I have. Let's just give you one clue. The clue is napkin. Okay. So the clue is napkin. So the guru, the napkin guru, my sponsor brings him in to train our team. So we got like, I don't know, 80 people or something, the whole team. We bring this guy in, he sells all his books and stuff. And then my sponsor invites me for lunch with him and the guru and a couple other of our top leaders. So, wow, I'm so honored. I'm at the lunch with this guy. This guy's the guru. He wrote the book. So, so we're having lunch. We're talking about the business, and I'm talking about how excited I am about my product line. And he says, Randy, the products don't matter. They just don't matter. What matters is the volume. If everybody does $100 a month, then we all get paid. So if everybody buys $100 worth of product and then throws the product in the river, doesn't matter. We all still get paid. Whoa, this is life transformation for me. And then he says, then you don't want to, you can't work one company. He says, so something comes up, he takes out a pen, right? But when he opens the cap of the pen, a rubber stamp comes out with his name and his phone number. And he says, see this pen? And then he puts the rubber stamp on, a napkin. And he says, see, everybody's like, oh, wow, that's so cool. He said, yeah, it's an MLM company. I can sign you all up. I'll sign up Rod will sign up you guys. And so we all joined the, then, the waitress is bringing the salad. He gets a thing and he takes out some green shit and he stirs it up in the drink. Everybody's like, what? What is that? And he's like, oh, this is a age retardant from Japan. Gives you the sexual appetite of a teenager without the acne. Well, oh my God. And people at the other table, what is that? What is that guy mixing up? Right. So what is he? Of course, it's an MLM. Of course, he signs us all up. He signed us up into 6 deals before the lunch was over. And then he got in his little motorhome and sailed off into the sunset. And I realized later he did this in every seminar he did. And he made all his money selling the books and tapes and just getting all the MLM zombies into everybody in the next hot deal. And then he'd roll, and of course he'd get thrown out of companies and then he'd roll into other ones. And I don't know if he's still around, but I mean, he was doing that shit for decades. Okay. There's a lot of that kind of training in the business, right? And that's why people aren't breaking through. It's not their fault. They got seduced by the dark side of the force. All right. So I know you probably know people who would crawl naked over broken glass to know what the 9 components of the master framework are. Maybe you're one of those people who would crawl naked over broken glass. All right, good. I'm going to share it with you. Because whether you're part of this special test pilot program with the lab, I want you to have this information because this is the breakthrough you're looking for. The reason you haven't been successful is you haven't been doing true network marketing. You've been doing a distorted, hijacked version that people might be well-meaning, might be ill-meaning, but they have led you astray. This is how it's really done. There's 9 components. All right, number 1, let me see how I'm doing time-wise. I told you I'll go as long as I need, but I actually have a plane. I'm flying out to work with my team overseas. So got to get to the airport. So I need to make sure I can get this done for you before I leave. All right, number 1 component. You need a compelling company origin story. Talking points. What is the company about? Not the feature stuff. Not who the founders are and where they went to school and what kind of degree they have and what awards they. Nobody cares about that shit. They want to know, what is this company about? Who are the kind of people who are involved in this company? And is it for people like me? What are they doing? Are they doing something that I want to be a part of? You see, 9 out of 10 network marketing companies, you know how they start? Two guys are sitting in a bar slamming back shots and they get half drunk. And one of them says, you know what we should do, Bubba? We should start a network marketing company. And the other guy said, yeah, great idea. What should we sell? I don't know, but Amway, Herbalife, New Skin, Old Skin, In Between Skin, they're all making money. Let's find something to sell. And they go to one of these product formulators that sells the same shit to 27 different companies, and they create a protein shake and an energy bar and a vitamin mineral, and and then they're in business. Well, what kind of origin story is that? Who wants to be a part of that? What's the mystique? What's the reason for being? What is the higher purpose? What is the big picture vision of where that company wants to go? And more importantly, the people who put their name on the line to become a distributor and call their friends and offer the opportunity to them. What is that origin story about? And sometimes it's apparent, and sometimes it really takes some nuance and some digging to work through and create a coherent story with talking points that will resonate with the marketplace. Second thing you need, an intriguing product narrative. Again, a story. It's not about ingredients and lab results and statistics and facts. Storytelling is what moves people into action. Everybody who joins your company, the reason they join is because on a subconscious level, they're looking to become part of something bigger than themselves. And part of that is the company origin story, and part of that is the product narrative. So what are the talking points that people get it? That they're talking about the next day. They're in a Zoom meeting on Tuesday night. Wednesday, they're in the office at the water cooler or the break room talking with their coworkers, and they say, have you ever heard of this da-da-da product? I was on a Zoom meeting last night, and what are those talking points? What is that narrative? Again, it's got to be massaged. It's got to be nuanced. It's got to be coherent. It's got to have the talking points that everyone in the field, you could wake them up at 3 a.m., shine a flashlight in their eye and say, tell me about your product. And it's compelling. Numero tres, you need a mass market lead generation tool. People, company owners, I'm talking to you, CEOs, founders, VPs of marketing, VP of sales. I'm talking to you. This business is not rocket science. It's very simple. It's not about selling. It's a teaching and training business. We don't want to try to train people how to sell people because people don't want to be sold. And most of the people are not sales types. And if you make it about being a sales type, they're all going to drop out and you're going to have a horrible churn. I don't want to sell anything to anybody. I want to be a great storyteller. I want to be a great marketer. And I want to put the right people in front of the right message. Let them have that epiphany for themselves, and they decide that they want to join the business. So you need a mass market recruiting tool, a physical tool. No, it cannot just be digital. It cannot just be a video or audio. It can't just be something in somebody's smartphone. I make every client company I work with create a printed mass market recruiting tool. So when they go to the chiropractor, they can leave 10 of them on the coffee table. When they're in an Uber or an airplane, they leave 2 of them in the seat back pocket. When they meet somebody on the fly and they're never going to see that person again and they have one shot to give them something, they have it. So that's the third element. The fourth element we've already talked about, a standardized presentation structure, a framework. And again, it needs the 7 vital segments. It needs to include, there's 2 emotional triggers that increase conversion by about 60%. It needs to be available in various formats. There needs to be a PowerPoint version of it. In a lot of markets, you probably, some of the third world markets, you need a flip chart version of it or a cheat sheet version of it. But it's standardized, and whether it's home, online, big meeting, hotel, wherever, it follows the same, outline. And there should be an intrigue video that's linked to that as part of that presentation. And there should be a full, so in other words, there's a full presentation structure. You have the outline, you have the PowerPoints, you have a sizzle or intrigue video that puts them into the candidate pathway to start that ladder of escalation I talked about. And then there should be a full-length presentation video that anyone could just point and grunt and show someone a video, that they don't have to be a rock star presenter. So all of that together encompasses component number 4, that standardized presentation structure. Number 5 is the event ladder of escalation, meaning smaller events, which feed to bigger presentations, which feed to bigger ones, to bigger ones. And if you're asking me, should they be online or should they be in person? The answer is yes. Number 6 component, you need a product narrative video, right? So you've got the narrative, you've got the story of what this product line is about, meaning what are the real tangible benefits to the candidates. And you also need a video of that. So again, anybody can point and click, point and grunt. We've got to make it so that the person who's on your 25th level, who has never met you in person, is still able to replicate your results. Number 7, and again, I'm talking to you company owners and VPs. You need a printed product collateral piece, also known as a catalog, or the version I like to do, what I call a magalog. A catalog that looks like a magazine. Depending what your company is, how many products, it might just be a brochure. But again, a physical tool, which I know you don't want to print. You said we have all these different languages. We need all these translations, and then we have to warehouse them, and then we have to ship them. I get it. But this is what your team needs if you want to create a duplication machine. If you want to be able to put 500 to 5,000 people a month into your structure, you're going to need these 9 components. And that product collateral piece is number 7. Number 8, if you follow my work, you know I'm a maniac about this. You need a new distributor orientation. The process you take someone through to get them started in the business, how they log in, how they use the mobile app, how do they sign up a customer into the customer reward program, how do they enroll a distributor, what is the first thing we have that distributor doing to get them into income, how do we get them recruiting within the first 48 hours that they have customers and distributors. You make or break your new distributors in the first 2 weeks, and the first 48 hours is critical. And that's where that new distributor orientation comes in. And then number 9 is something kind of intriguing. No one has ever told you this before, but you need what I call an orphan rescue structure. Meaning this stuff all has to be built out Because what happens is Susie on your 17th level is going to enroll Julio, Mohammed, and Mary her first week in the business. And you know what's going to happen the second week in the business? She's going to quit. And you got Julio, Mohammed, and Mary, and they lost their sponsor. And if there is not a rescue structure in place, they're going to be gone within 24 hours. Excuse me. So this is where the candidate pathway, the tools, the ladder of escalation, this is where all these things come into play, so that even when the enroller drops out, they still can plug in to the master framework. And you rescue these orphans who would have been lost. So those 9 components, when they're built out correctly, that is the machine that duplicates without you. Let me say that again. It's the most important sentence you might hear in your entire career. That is the machine that duplicates without you. All right, let me tell you about this recruiting lab. It's a lab because it's a laboratory. If you're selected, 35 people will be selected. You have to apply. You're going to need an interview with me or Jaime or both to be accepted. If you're accepted, you're going to be doing exercises all through. It's 4 days, morning to night, 4 days solid. No, you cannot Zoom in. No, you can't come half-time, part-time. You're all in or you're all out. You're going to be doing the building out those components under our guidance. We're going to be doing hot seats through the duration of the whole event. We will be bringing people on stage and creating presentation outlines with them. We will be bringing people up and creating PowerPoint decks with them. We'll be working on them, on their origin story. We'll be doing hot seats with people on their product narrative. You'll be having exercises during breaks and networking, workshop stuff where you'll be going and working on that stuff yourself. We'll be bringing people on stage and have them actually doing portions of their opportunity presentations and then critiquing them. We will be working with people in hot seats to create video storyboard. This is the stuff. Jaime and I charge between $400,000, in some cases more than $1 million, to companies to help them develop this, depending on how deep they want to go with it. So these are stuff we get more than $1 million to teach to companies. That's what you're going to be working on if you're selected for this lab. You will be building this out under our direction. Okay, there'll still be workshop sessions, how to make your invitations more compelling, how to organically recruit online, how to implement an active, not passive, an active recruiting culture with your team, how you build that ladder of escalation, how you create that rescue infrastructure. So we'll be doing trainings on that, but most of the stuff is very highly interactive, hot seats and exercises. So you have to come prepared to work. You can't sit in the back row and lurk. Otherwise you're just wasting your money. All right. We're going to show you how to build out the infrastructure so you can create the machine that adds 500 to 5,000 people a month. Now, how are we going to make sure that you're able to accomplish this? First thing, we're going to do some pre-event training. Before you ever get there, you're going to have some videos to watch, some exercises to go through to prepare you. If you have a clue, if you understand the profession, that pre-event training will be worth $25,000 to you. Just the pre-event training. When you arrive, you're going to get a workbook. It's going to take you through these structures: origin story, product narrative, what's your candidate pathway, what the tools go in each stage, what the ladder of escalation. Just the blank workbook is worth $5,000 to you. If you found it on the sidewalk, you could sell it to a smart person for $5,000. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to gift you a 1-year membership into our Prodigy Council. So you will meet with Jaime and I every month for 1 year after the event to make sure you get everything implemented at the optimal level. So every month we gather by Zoom 10 times a year. Twice a year, we gather in person. We go to a nice resort. Everybody unplugs their phone, their email, and we brainstorm in person. So that's a very small but select group. That costs $15,000 a year. That's included for free when you come to the lab, if you're accepted. The whole package, it's worth more than $100,000. You want to come? Here's your price. Only $15,000. Now, why are we going to give you a $100,000 program, something we sell to companies for $500,000 to $1 million? Why are we going to give it to you for only $15,000? Because it's a beta test. It's a beta program. You're going to be the guinea pig for the program that we're going to roll out later that costs $75,000 or $100,000 or $200,000. So by the way, same thing. If you're listening to this podcast when it's just released, this is for the program in 2025. If you're listening in 2027, if the program is even available, it might be $100,000, it might be $200,000. We're not, guaranteeing this for the future. We're going to prove the concept with these 35 people that we can take anybody, if they're coachable, willing, and they will build out this master framework, we will prove that they will be a multi-million-dollar earner. They will build a multi-million-dollar business. Here's the other thing. You'll be able to bring one key person with you for $3,500. Your partner, your spouse, maybe it's somebody in your sponsorship line, maybe you're a CEO and you want to bring your top field leader, or some of you watching, maybe you don't have the wherewithal to do this, even though, by the way, we're going to finance it for you. We'll even finance it for you. But if that's still out of your range, you might, get somebody in your sponsorship line to, show them this video. They go and you're asking them to bring you as their +1 to help them implement that. I will leave that to you, but you will be able to bring a key person. And like I say, we're going to finance it for 1 year afterward with the idea that you can pay us from the extra money you earn, from the extra volume you produce by what you learn at the event. So you're going to have to put a deposit, $3,000 to start. If you can't put up $3,000, this is definitely not for you. So you need to when you apply, you're going to have to apply that, yes, I'll put down a $3,000 deposit and then we'll finance the rest for 1 year. Just so you can pay us out of what you earn. And here's the thing. If you got any doubt in your mind, here's what I want you to know. We have a 100% ice cold, ironclad money back guarantee, totally at your discretion. Come to the event, come to the lab. You can stay all of day 1, day and night, and day 2 up to the dinner break. If you're not 100% convinced that this won't make you a multi-million-dollar producer, let us know you're leaving and we will refund 100% of the money and you keep the pre-event training, you keep the workbook, any of the tchotchkes you get when you show up, you keep all of that for your trouble. There's no questions asked. If you think, hey, this can only show me how to make 900,000, it doesn't show me how to make 1 million, I want my money back, you get your money back. If you say, I didn't like this hotel, the meeting room is too cold, I forgot my sweater, I want my money back, no questions asked. If you want to leave because you don't like the color of Jaime's shoes, 100%, no questions asked, you get your money back. That's how serious we are about that. This is how confident we are in this. I absolutely, no questions asked, 100% money back guarantee, unconditional. But here's the catch. There's only 35 slots. So you've got to apply and then we'll schedule the interview. It's first come, first serve. If you want to apply, you got to send an email to team@duplicationnation.com. I'll put it in the show notes. Okay, Josh, make sure. team@duplicationnation.com. You apply, we'll set up an interview. If this is right for you, we'll get you locked in a spot. I don't know, what else do I want to tell you about this? It's just, this is how I built a team of 200,000 people. This is how I produced those results for all my clients and proteges. Jaime is the perfect example. He's like the perfect case study. He joined my organization. He had no experience in network marketing, never had been in the business before, but he joined my team in my system. And even though he was on my, I don't know what, he might have been on my 17th level, my 27th level, he saw the system, he understood it. We had like a 6 audio training album. He went through that 6 audio, he did it exactly, and he built a great team with a very nice residual income, which he has to this day. The companies I've trained, the people, you know, if you don't know my mark on this profession by now, then you really don't understand the business, right? But this is the stuff. Companies pay me $500,000, $1 million or more to put in with them. So it's not about me. It's about you building out the machine. Put the master framework in place. Let the machine create its flywheel and start getting 500 to 5,000 new distributors a month. This framework creates an entire new opportunity. Again, I can't stress this enough. You have never been in network marketing until you've been in network marketing using this master framework. The first 35 people, they're going to have a 2-year head start on everyone else in the profession. If you get to be one of those 35 people in that lab in Las Vegas at that secret location, it will transform your life forever. Again, if you don't bring your kids' college fund, don't take your retirement savings, if you can't comfortably invest in your business, this is not the right opportunity for you, or else you need to sell it to somebody in the sponsorship line and have them bring you along. But if you know that with the right framework, you could step into the greatness, the empowering leader you're meant to be with that dream lifestyle, then I want to see you in that lab in Las Vegas. So submit your application, team@duplicationnation.com. Peace. Hey, do me a favor before you go. Please rate this podcast and then share it with people you know who could benefit from the business building advice here. And then if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on one of the other platforms that allow comments, please get down below, give us a shout out to the community in the comments section. Thanks.